Hey everyone, this is Jenny Garcia and this is our Project Life process video using a kit from Citrus Twist Kits, and this is the August kit and it's called Routines, and it's very everyday life, which is awesome if you do Project Life instead of doing, like seasonal or doing special occasions. These are the 6x8 papers that I always keep around because I either like to use them as cards or I like to use my dice with them and create tiny stars. And I figured that this card that was 6x4 would be better as my title card. I really love how it looks in a 4x6, but the space that I have was 3x4. And I'm using these alphas. These foam alpha stickers are also from Citrus Twist Kits. And even though this is a really good journaling card, especially when you have different things going on in one week, but I thought it was perfect as a title card too. The routine's title is perfect for Project Life. So I use one of the spaces for journaling to stamp the date and write the week number. And the ink that I use is from Studio Calico. Some of the inks are from the Messy box, which were under Studio Calico. They are no longer around. It's been a while. But they have similar shades, so you can use the peachy one the Studio Calico has instead of the one that I used. And I used the die cuts. There's actually there's two different ephemera packs. There is one that has a bunch of items, and then there's a cut apart that has words and things that you can add to your layout. I also use stickers from past collections. And there's also a lot of frames in this one, which I really enjoy frames. Lately, I haven't been using them as much as I can. I think it's lack of opportunity, but I love to use them for title cards, for QR codes, and to frame photos. And of course I have the little puffy hearts. And I wanted to add something bigger on that one, but I figured that the star and the heart were enough. And in this photo, my daughter is reading a book. And I didn't want to cover the pillow for some reason. I just feel like in the future I would remember the pillow. But the black couch I can absolutely cover. And that die cut says the quiet moments, which are not very often here. My little one talks a lot, which I don't mind. She's so funny. But when she's reading, then it's quiet time. Although she always stops and she's like, oh my god, this is so funny. And then she tells me all about it. And sometimes I have to be like, okay, you've been like reading for 10 minutes and talking for 10. It's like like she's doing commentary, like first reactions. It's really funny. And I just had some extra space for washi tape and the treasure sticker. This one I thought that I was going to cover all the corners with flowers, but once I did the top and bottom, it felt like a lot, especially because the piece that I put at the bottom was quite a lot. But I was looking for flowers in this first ephemera pile. I like to keep them separated, that way I can put them back into baggies and stuff like that. And this collection has a little bit of purple, which I enjoy because purple is not a color that you see often in scrapbooking products or collections. And I do this framing with the flowers with photos too. So I'm glad that I still have a few of those around. And I love when I staple on a sticker, it shows how puffy it is. And here my daughter was making a birdhouse with her dad. And I usually add embellishments in a diagonal way, but I didn't want to cover too much of that annoying book on the right corner, bottom corner. You know, those books that the school send you to buy, I don't know, shape pasta or whatever. Hopefully in the future that doesn't exist anymore. And we can revisit that, like, oh, you remember. Yeah, I love paying $20 for dog shape pasta. It's not a good, fundraiser. Who buys that? I hate it whenever they send things like that. I'm like, no, I don't wanna buy this. But I looked through all the puffy stickers to add a few extra things to the die cuts. And even though I have my quick picks for the little hearts and stars that I sometimes have, I only use so far puffy stickers in this one. No, it's a pizza one. Now I can't remember what it was. They always suck. I hate them. I hated them as a kid and I hate them now. Although I like the chocolate fundraiser because, it was just $5. You pay $5 and you ate the chocolate and you're like, great. I'm a business person. But it was so much better. And here I'm going to cover it since I already have it in the other photo. And I always try to flatten the staples on anything that is chipboard or puffy that I staple together. These strips of pattern paper are part of the cut aparts, and I like to use them like I use washi tape to layer my other die cuts. But on top of that, I'm gonna add even more washi. And I always, whenever I start working with a collection, I pick some washi from my washi stash, and that's something that I always share on my Patreon. And here she was reading outside. There's a gap where you can be outside without either bugs attacking you, being melting in the heat, or freezing in the cold. It's a month. So it was one of those, months. And I wanted to do a cluster in the corner, but I didn't know what else to add, and I wanted to do something sort of diagonal. So I'm going to use the little shapes that I cut with my Lawn Fawn dies. And what I do to pick the washi tape for the collection is that I pick the paper that has the most colors. That way I can draw my washi tape color palette from there. I don't have that much purple washi tape. I only have 5, which sucks because I love purple, but it's really hard to find. And I'm going to use my purple Tombow Twin Tone Dual Tip Marker to write my journaling. And I can't leave the rest of the card alone, so I'm going to add little hearts and stars from my dies. And what I do is that I use scrap paper to create these little shapes. And these are from an older collection, but all of these kits have like colors that are very similar, so I can always find a few colors there. I'm using the same jumbo marker to write my journaling, and I wanted to add something on top. It's something that I have to do with journaling cards. If it starts too abruptly without any embellishing, I need to add something. And this one is perfect because it says here's a story. And I use one journaling card for each week. And this is something that I've been doing lately a little bit more often, which is to do collages so I don't end up with a bunch of the same pictures, especially if I don't have that much space in my week. Then I prefer to do this. And I take a lot of pictures from my backyard. Doesn't fail. I don't know why I can't stop doing it, but I just love the trees. And this week in particular, I was starting to see like little signs of fall with little clusters of red, and I loved how it looked. And that actually was going to be my title card, but I decided to do my title on a 3x4 card. Which would have been fine in the blue sky, but I was like thinking about where was I gonna stamp the dates. So I'm using this card, which I absolutely love, and I might print more in the future. It's perfect for audiobooks or music or podcast. So again, it has the everyday reading, eating, gardening, journaling vibe. So not only is good for project life, you can also use it for planning or journaling. And I was afraid that the white wasn't going to be as visible on the yellow, so that's why I decided to use this sort of peach square, but I think that either way would have been fine, but I like how it turned out. And I have a bunch of roller date stamp, but I use like a rotation of 4 or 5, and I have them in order, from the ones that I use the most to the ones that I use the least, but I should make it like a personal goal to use them more often. Now the square looked too plain for me since I need everything to be slightly extra, so I use some of the washi tape. Not all of it fits in my little rhino, which I love. I got it from Tuesday Morning years ago, but now you can get it anyways, and now it's not called We Are Memory Keepers, it's called We Are Makers. And my local Tuesday Morning closed, which sucks because it was so good. Sometimes, some weeks were like meh, but the last time I went that it was closing, the sales were so good. One thing I want to do with that not playlist, like I call it play card. It's like a radio card. I want to turn the colors to so I can have more options to use. And I also take a lot of photos of my daughter reading because it's one of those times where she's still and not blurry. And also when she comes home from school, like she still looks like slightly human. Then she gets home and she's like, I'm gonna take everything off and, you know, no more hair. Like, I don't know why she hates having her hair in a ponytail. That's why I always try to keep it really short so it doesn't get tangled, since she doesn't like brushing her hair. But yeah, then she looks a little crazy. But it's real life. She is like, her hair is a mess most of the time, so trying to stay true to the story here. Like this one, like she took her braids off. And I also get to see some of her favorite outfits. Like, she loves items with cats. She loves cats, but I'm allergic to cats, so we can't have them. But then, like, this dress that has a bunch of cats, she loves. And I got her some socks that go up to your knee, and the top is like a cat. She loved those. Now that school is about to start, I'm gonna have to get her a few more of those. I'm almost done with my back to school shopping. These are all layering of my favorite items: the washi tape, the little word phrases, or, you know, phrase stickers, and the shapes. This one I didn't want to cover either of the brand or the strawberries, so I put it right in the middle, which it looks great because it's covering like an empty space. And that week was my anniversary, and my husband actually got a big like arrangement of fruits for me, and he got these for my daughter because my daughter likes fancy fruit, and she kind of like hinted that she wanted some. And this is the whole layout. I hope you enjoyed it. It was such a fun week, and again, I'm like thinking a lot about the outfits that pretty soon she's going to outgrow. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I gave you some inspiration. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Bye.